Hello, hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How y'all
Welcome,
doing
welcome,
tonight?
welcome. How's everybody doing? We're going to give everybody a few more minutes to log in. We hope y'all enjoyed the little intro. I did. Let us know you're in the room. Say hello. Let us know if you can hear us. Make sure you can see us. And that all is well. So talk back to us and let us know that you're okay. And then if you'll do us a huge favor and go ahead and hit share. Share this out because tonight's going to be interesting. We're going to have a conversation that probably a lot of single individuals and married couples would want to talk about.
Or have talked about.
Or maybe they haven't talked about it.
Right.
And y'all see how y'all get what you get tonight. We ain't extra dressed up. It was a workout dress kind of day because I did not work out. I did work out for like 10 minutes, but this is what y'all get tonight, okay? So y'all better love it. But again, say hello. Let us know where you guys are watching from.
Right. What did I need to know before marriage?
10 things. 10 things we wish we knew.
Yeah.
And this is kind of random because we didn't really think out.
Yeah.
The 10 things. I mean, we have some things, so this is totally going to be flowing from the top of the dome, which is going to make it even more interesting, right? We didn't plan this. We knew what we were going to talk about, but we did not plan this conversation, so y'all going to get what you get, okay? Especially coming from this one. Hey, Kendall. Thank you, Kendall. Hey, Demetrius. I saw Demetrius on here. I saw my friend Phildrina. Hey, Phildrina. I saw Danielle Tucker. Hey, Danielle, if you're still on here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask him the first question, which is, of course, what is one of the first things you wish you knew before getting married? Should we do 10? Yeah, we're doing 10 together,
We're
not
doing
10
10.
each.
Okay. So, should I give you the number one on my list?
I don't care. Whatever number you got.
I don't even have a list. Okay. I would have to say, I wish I knew where we were going, in a sense. Like I didn't have like a vision as like, you know what I'm saying, like what to do in marriage. Like I had never been married before, so I didn't know, you know, where to start, I guess. Yeah. Other than the altar.
Yeah, for both of us, because we married so young. We got married at 19 and 20. Mm-hmm. Granted, I came from a married family background.
Right.
He came from a broken family background, and so we kind of just came together, young, had a baby, and we didn't know what we were doing. Yeah. I always liken it to a straight up Adam and Eve experience. Like we were already doing things backwards. So, but we didn't. And so what you're saying is you wish you would have had a vision for our marriage prior
to the marriage. Yeah.
And I mean, do people really think about that? Some people do. Okay. I guess when you're older, when you're in your 20s or your 30s, you have time to actually think about what you want your marriage to look like. At 19 and 20, we didn't know what we were doing, right?
No.
At all. Listen, I don't even know why I said yes. I'm just playing.
there was no, you know, Married for Dummies book.
No.
I couldn't, like you said, you know, I couldn't really pull from my childhood experience because my grandparents were so much older.
Yeah.
Their marriage was seasoned. It was like that piece of meat that's already been cooked. You know what I mean? It wasn't sitting on the counter waiting to be washed and seasoned. So a lot of the stuff that they were doing, it was the better years.
Yeah.
So they always look happy to me, you know. And so with that picture, you know what I'm saying? For me, I was just kind of like, and then like you said, we were 19 and 20, but we had a kid before we got married.
Yeah,
and
we
so
had a child. So
that just threw a monkey wrench in all of that because now my vision switched from being a husband to being a father. Mm-hmm. But then I had to try to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
At 19.
20. I was 19. Oh, well, we were parents before we were married. So, 18, I was a mom. 19, he was a dad.
Yeah.
then 20 and 19, we were husband and wife.
Showing your age because you don't remember. But
it's okay.
Whew,
she's about to be 17. Jesus. Okay, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, so that has to be number one on my list. Like, I wish I knew or wish I had a vision. You know,
I agree wholeheartedly with that. My thing, one of the things I wish I knew before getting married was that it's okay not to lose yourself, right?
Okay.
As a wife and as a mom, I think most of us, when we're tackling parenthood, motherhood, and then of course being a wife, we tend to lose ourselves in that process. For me, I don't even feel like I had the opportunity to figure out who I was, right? So I was 19, so I didn't really know my full identity. I was still on that path of figuring that out. But for some people who are in their late 20s and 30s going into marriage, one of the things that I suggest you really focus on is knowing who you are. Like it took me to get to mid-30 before I'm like, okay, I know who I am. I lost who I was and I discovered who I am now. But if I had given myself time to really focus on my likes, my dislikes, my core being, then I wouldn't have felt like I self-sacrificed to Condra to be a mother, to be a wife, a military spouse at that. So that's important. Know that it's okay not to lose yourself in the process of becoming a mother and being a wife. All at the same time. Because a lot of us women go through that. Y'all can relate. Can somebody relate? Any women out there, married women, individual, single women, you could probably relate.
And I think too, like you were stating, whatever stage of life that you're in, that's not where you're going to stay. Yeah. So even if you kind of know who you are, you become something else based on who you're with.
True.
A lot of times, and so like you said, you took on motherhood and you took on being a wife, but then you started to evolve in those two areas, and by evolving in those two areas, you became a better, stronger woman. Yeah, in a sense. Yeah. So you have to allow you have to allow a person to go through their growth process. Yeah. Because we're not going to get it right, and there's no one fully mature.
Not at all.
And when I use the word mature, I mean perfect. Right. Meaning they have none of us have reached that level of perfection to where there are no deficiencies, there are no shortcomings, there are no insecurities, and so we got to be able to identify those things so we can grow with it, and grow out of it.
With that being said, I think that's a good one right there. Number 3 is know that neither one of you are perfect. Yeah. You're not a walk on the beach, and neither is your spouse.
But I am a nice ride in the car.
Oh, yeah, because I'll ride all day, okay? I don't drive, but I'll ride. Yeah. But yeah, neither one of you are perfect. Yeah. Like you said, you come with flaws and imperfections, and just to really focus on what makes us incredible as individuals more than focusing on our flaws. If I would have known that coming into the marriage, I would have had 20/20 vision when it comes to pointing out your strengths. Yeah. And, what makes you an incredible human being. Because I was straight up pointing them flaws out from the beginning. I'm like, pick them clothes up. I'm not your mama. You know, whatever. We always tend to look at our flaws first, not just in ourselves, but in the other person. And that wasn't really my focus. My focus didn't switch to looking at, well, this is a strength for him. What is he good at? Until I can even say how long into the marriage. I mean, it's still... Yeah,
we still have moments.
Yeah, because we're always evolving.
And with that, that's the challenge, I think, that comes with any relationship. Yeah. Not just marriage, but even your regular relationships with people. You got to leave room for growth.
Absolutely.
Like, if you coming in thinking they got it all together, or you got it all together... Yeah. Man, the enemy uses that to his advantage, and like you said, he highlights the negatives. Yeah, he's always going to highlight your negatives, like you're not good enough, or you're not doing this right, or and it's always going to be pressure that's put on you. But when we start changing our attention or our spectrum and how we see our spouses, I don't see you for the negatives, even though I know they're there.
Yeah.
We're going to call them out, but I'm not going to hold them against you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to hold the positive things against you because those make us better.
Right.
Right. Marriage is all about positivity.
Yeah.
We both can't be down.
Yeah.
Right. And so if we both down, then the marriage going down.
Yeah.
And if the marriage going down, we both captains. So I guess we going down with the ship. You know what I mean? So it's like somebody's got to give. Somebody's got to throw that life jacket out there and say, hey, I see you drowning, but let's just know you're going to be okay. You got to have that optimism and that spirit of optimism in your marriage, in your relationships, as you allow other people to grow as you grow.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good. So you have another one off the top of your head you can think of? I got one if you don't.
No, go ahead.
I'm piggybacking off of what you just said. So as you talking, they're flowing. So I would say understand that your differences work together. I remember when we first got married, I am a Colgate toothpaste girl. And he is the opposite. And I was like, you gonna use this Colgate? We team Colgate in this house.
No.
And I remember one day, just as clear as day, the Lord said to me, he likes, what you like? I forgot what it's called. Crest.
Yeah.
Anyway, he likes Crest.
Mm-hmm.
I like Colgate. Why not just buy 2 separate toothpastes when you go to the store? I was so stuck on buying Colgate because that was all we were going to be using.
Right.
But he likes Crest. And I was like, no, we buying Colgate. The Lord told me, Takandra, it's okay. Buy him his Crest and use your Colgate. Squash the beef, the tension, and just do what works for the both of you. So what works for me may not always work for him, vice versa. But it doesn't mean that, we have to fight about it. Right. It doesn't mean that there has to be a whole argument about it. It's just do what works for the both of you and let it be. So his differences, God put us together for a reason. There's a purpose. I like to tell people when God puts you together with a spouse, it's never for you to be with somebody that's completely like you. If I married somebody that was like me, I would be boring all my life. I would be bored all the time, right? If he married someone like him, he would be hyper all the time. I don't know. But
I don't know about that. Maybe a little more loose, more jokey.
Too jokey. Yeah, he's the jokester. So we each have strengths and weaknesses. And we were having this conversation earlier, but I'm strong in certain areas that he's weak in, and he's strong in certain areas that I'm weak in. So we have to learn to respect and appreciate our differences because God put us together for the purpose of balance. Okay? If we were both just extra heavy in one area, the scale wouldn't be it wouldn't be balanced. We would both be on this side, because we both all of this and neither one of us are this, right? So God puts us with people who balance us out. And I didn't understand that when I first got married. I was like, no, he has to think the way I think. He has to like what I like. What? What did you say? No. Everything has to be, my way or the highway. Like your differences don't work. Go ahead and conform to my patterns, to conform to my liking, and everything's going to be good. That is not how it works. Yeah. Appreciate the differences because God put us together. He put you with your spouse, or he'll put you with someone that brings balance to your life. Prime example, I don't know about you guys, but food. I've tried the vegan life. I've tried the meat eating life. I love it. Right. I've gotten to a point now where I need a balanced meal. I don't need too much meat. I've cut out certain meats. I don't just want to be vegan or vegetarian because that just don't make sense to me. For some people, health reasons, perfect. But what I aim for is a balanced life because I'm not depriving myself. And I'm not overindulging in something that's not good for me. So it's the same concept with being balanced with a partner. Yeah. You need balance.
You gotta have balance.
You want to tag on to that?
With the differences, you gotta know what works. You know what I mean? Like you, it's like trying to put a square in a circle. It's not going to fit. Like the edges are going to be kind of caught up in some point of that. And if we continue to try to force these things, if I force something on you, then resentment, it opens the door to resentment. Yeah. And so when we don't embrace our differences and we fight our differences, we begin pulling. And it's something that we talk about, with our Built to Last marriages, where we talk about the tension, being on opposite sides of a rope. And I'm pulling this way and she pulling that way. Mm-hmm. And it's not until we stop pulling and actually walk closer to each other, the tension leaves, and then you get closer to your spouse. And so you didn't lose the rope. It just got easier. Mm. Right? And so, all these different things that we differ in and all of those things, like you say, it's to complete this marriage, this relationship, and to make it one. Yeah. You can't make something one without two different parts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's just the beauty of our differences, and we have to embrace them.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. All right. Yeah. Y'all got some comments? What y'all think? What y'all think about some of these things? So far we've said, what was the first thing we said?
The first one I said was, I wish I
had a vision. Have a vision for your marriage. Right. 2, I said, it's okay not to lose sight of who you are as a wife, as a woman. Right. 3 is understanding and recognizing our differences and how they work for us and not against us. Right. All right. So what's the 4th one?
You can't change me, and I can't change you.
Somebody better be shouting right now. My Lord.
Let me say it again. I don't think the people in the back heard me. I can't change her, and she can't change me.
Come on.
You can't do it.
It does not work. Do you know how hard it is? First of all, how hard it is to change yourself.
I ain't trying to change.
I know.
I am who I am, right? That's what we do.
We do that.
God made me this way. He know my heart.
Can you imagine? Well, I ain't no can you imagine, because I tried it, okay? I tried it. My husband is the jokester. I'm more the serious type. More the, I used to call myself growing up, I was more mature than him, right? He was the immature one.
Goodness.
And I used to try to change him because it got on my nerves. Right. It did not work, y'all. It did not work. It did not work. It was a complete failure until one day it dawned on me. God was like, that's just how I made him. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to change his personality. I love this spiritual maturity because, some of us can be extra spiritual. Spiritual maturity will never change your personality.
Come on.
Okay? Personality differences are always going to remain, no matter how spiritually mature or whatever mature
or how anointed you think you are.
Come on. Come on. I had to learn this the hard way. And then I began to appreciate him for his joking side because, like I said, I can be uptight sometimes. I used to be so uptight, but now I'm like, okay, I can laugh. And I laugh at the most silliest joke. Like, his corny jokes are the funniest to me now. Right. Sometimes. He be trying too hard sometimes.
I don't try.
I think he missed his calling. He thought he was a comedian.
I am a comedian. But anyway.
So, you cannot change your spouse.
Can't do it.
You can't even change you.
But you know what the funny thing is? The flip side to this is, as I begin to change, you all of a sudden begin to change. But it had nothing to do with what me forcing you or me, telling you to change. Like, I just started changing certain things about me. Yeah. Because again, we only can control ourselves. So I can't control you. You can't control me, even though we like to think we can. Yeah. But when we grow, when I grow personally, and I self-evaluate and I come through some things, and you do it, the changes that we were trying to force, all of a sudden, they naturally happen. And one of the things that I learned too in my praying for him to change, I'll never forget the first book I read where the Lord, it just changed me. What was it? It was The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O. Martian. Yeah. That was probably one of the first spiritual books I picked up when we were married. The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O. Martian. And she talked about not being able to change your spouse, but asking God to change you. So we always quick to do this, right? We quick to point the finger. Change him. This was me. Change him. But look, when you point the finger at one, three fingers pointing back at you. And that's why God was like, okay, let me deal with you. So I began to change my prayer life to Lord, change me. Because maybe there's something about me that I'm missing, that I'm not seeing. And I'm still
Okay.
Could you imagine Tamala Man singing Change
him,
her, oh God. Like, right? No, God is not finna do that because you singing that. And she's singing so good. No, change me, oh God. Like, make me more and more like him. And I promise you, the more we act, the more we activate the godness in us, meaning let God come out in our personality. Let God come out in our growth. Like, give him the credit that he deserves.
Yeah.
Man, it brightens up the relationship.
Yeah.
You know, when we allow God to have what he gave us. Like,
absolutely.
You gave it to us, I'm giving it back to you because you did this.
Yeah.
I ain't saying you blaming God, but you got to give it back to him.
You gave me this.
Yeah, like I'm sorry. I sounded like Adam.
Yeah, you did.
I said, the woman you gave me. No, but yeah, that's what we have to do. We have to give it back to God and allow him to, be the foundation that he is. Like, let's build on him and not on what society says we should be. Yeah. Or what they think.
Or on one person's thoughts or ideas versus, us together.
I'm jacked up.
But telling y'all, we had an Adam and Eve experience.
Yes.
We grew into this. So another thing that I wish I knew.
This is number 5.
We on number 5? Yep. Okay, so number 1 was have a vision for your marriage.
I'm trying to remember. I got short-term memory loss.
I do too, so have a vision.
Somebody need to be typing these in. If you're listening, just type them in for us. I can't type them. Number 2.
Oh, Lord, I forgot. That quick.
Okay, so number 1 is the vision.
Yeah. Number 2, don't lose sight of who you are.
Number 3.
Number 3, respect and embrace the differences.
Yep.
And what was this one we just talked about?
Number 4 is I can't change you,
and you can't change me. Okay, let's see if we can remember these as we go. Because like I said, we did not write these down. This is coming off the head. Number 5 for me is I wish I knew that love languages existed.
Oh my goodness.
I had no idea that there was even a thing.
Listen.
as love languages.
I wouldn't have taken... Is that the right English? See, I should have took more English. I wouldn't have took... I'm going to just be me. I wouldn't have took German in high school. I would have took love languages. Like,
okay.
They should offer that to these kids coming out of high school. Like, you need to know what love is.
Know what love is. And that there are ways to speak it.
Yes.
Right? So...
Thank you, Angel. You are a...
Yeah, Angel, come on.
An angel.
Don't lose sight of who you are. Number 3 was embrace and respect differences. 4 was don't try to change your spouse.
Yes.
And number 5 is I wish I'd known that love languages exist. So if you don't know what your love language is, do the research, you guys. There's the book by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages. I think I have it. I went and dug it out. Yes, we have it right here. Okay. So the 5 love languages, the secret to love that lasts. All right? You guys. Okay, babe.
I know. I just... Because it's focused and you got to give it time.
Oh, I know. Okay. Yeah. So, I didn't even know that... Well, okay, let's test this out. Babe, what's my love language?
Gifts of love. Like, you love gifts.
Okay.
What's my love language?
You like words of affirmation.
Yes.
He's a words person. I'm not a words person.
Unless you're writing.
Unless I'm writing. So, my love language is I'm an affection person. Mm-hmm. Affectionate. What's the word? I'm affectionate. Good Lord.
Affectionate. Yes.
And I love gifts. They speak my love language. So give me gifts, I feel loved. Mm-hmm. His is words of affirmation.
Quality time.
You sure you like quality time?
I do.
You spend more time with the TV than me. I don't see that one sometimes.
I wish I knew.
Who all knew? Who knows? I can't name it off the top of my head. What are the love languages? So I wish I knew this existed because it would have helped me early on in our marriage learn to love him in a way that he feels loved. And you guys, this isn't something that's just, for marriage. This is relationships, period. Yeah. You can be friends with somebody, loving them in a way that makes you feel loved and appreciated as a friend, and they don't feel loved and appreciated at all. Mm-hmm. You can give me words all day in a friendship, but I love gifts. I love being sewn into. That's what makes me feel loved. Right. So I make it try to be more intentional about even asking my friends, what's your love language? Mm-hmm. When it's your birthday, even though, we buy gifts for people's birthday, but I'm the type of person, I'll run and get gifts for people first because that's my love language. And the Lord, he convicted me. He said, Takandra, you're loving people in the language that you love to be loved. You have to love him in a language that speaks to him. Mm-hmm. So some of y'all frustrated, disillusioned, and hard to get along with because you're loving someone in a language that loves you and not their love language.
Let me paint another picture for you. Imagine you being in Germany.
Acts of service. That's another one I like. Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to make a point. Imagine you being in the country Germany, right? And all you know is Spanish.
Yeah.
And you steady talking to German people in Spanish, expecting them to understand what you're saying. Yeah. Like, that's how crazy it is when we don't even attempt to recognize or even learn our spouses or our friends or those that are close to us, their love language.
Yeah.
When you do learn it, it frees you up. Like, now I know there's a certain level of gifting that you like too. It don't have to be extravagant.
Yeah.
It's more of the thought that counts than anything. Yeah. So
I don't care how simple, how small it is. It's the thought that you took time out to go and do it. Like he would randomly bring me flowers home. Mm-hmm. And for me, you remember when that one day you came home and I heard a bag. Mm. And so he came in the room and he was like, or I was like, what did you bring me? And he was kind of hiding behind the door like, what you talking about? Ain't nobody bring you that. And I was like, I heard a bag. What'd you bring me? And he actually brought me my favorite candy, one. And I was like, oh, thank you. That was so sweet. And then he kind of went back and he came back in with some flowers. Y'all, that totally made my day. It was so sweet. Yeah. It's the simple things.
Yeah. And that's all it is. Like you said, for me, like words, I need to hear you say it because then I can feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not saying that because you don't say it, I don't feel like you love me, but because you do say it, you just went another step.
Yeah. I want to say something, especially to the women right now and the wives. And this is probably something I'm going to tackle on a podcast because I wasn't always, and sometimes I still struggle with building him up with my words. I used to be the type of wife where I would build him up in the morning. By the time he got home, I'm tearing him down with the same, with the same mouth. So
same hammer.
The Lord really had to work on me with building him up with my words because I didn't understand that my words were tearing him down in his confidence, as a man, as a husband, as a leader. I didn't understand that even though I felt like my words, I was trying to help him, it was hurting him.
That's where words of affirmation backfires.
Right. Like, so if you're dealing with a words person, you have to be mindful of the type of words you're putting out because not every word is a good word and not every word is building up. Sometimes we can tear, and I was the type of person, y'all, I could tear you down with some words because I couldn't fight, right? Going up in high school and stuff. I couldn't fight, but I knew how to kill people with my words.
Transparent moment?
Very transparent.
Right here.
Oh,
so, for you. Okay. One of the reasons why your words hurt so much, right, which really wasn't your fault, but I didn't receive a whole lot of negative words in my workplace. I was always kind of praised. I was more, looked upon as somebody that not had it all together, but was doing the right thing all the time. And so when I got home and now I'm hearing all the stuff that I didn't get right, I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm failing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm failing as a husband. Like, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that was the contrast for me. It was like, man, I'm a rock star outside the house, but I come in here, I'm on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm in the starting five. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm averaging a triple-double out there.
Yeah.
And it's not it wasn't equating. But what I realized was I wasn't the same person in the home. Yeah. I was a leader. I'm a leader out there. I got my peoples. I'm getting them in line. But when I got home, I was more like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to lead. I don't want to do nothing. And she's like, no, you've been going all day. I need some leadership. Yeah. So that's.
Oh, anyway. Thanks for sharing the transparent moment.
Well, you have to, because they're going to let them know it's two sides to that thing.
Yeah.
You weren't just attacking me. It wasn't domestic violence.
Okay. Yeah. It wasn't. Whatever. All right. So what's another one for you? So that was number what? 6? No. Know your spouse love language?
No, that was 5.
That was 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 5, know their love language.
Yeah.
What's number 6 for you?
I wish I knew, and this is another book.
Okay.
Where it popped up to me when you turned around.
We gotta write this? I need to take a note.
No.
Oh, it's another book. Okay, gotcha. That's we all
got introduced, later in our marriage. I wish I knew that you needed love and I needed respect. Mm-hmm. Like, I wish that was something that we understood. Yeah. That most, I'm gonna say most, but majority of the women, they need to be loved because they're nurturers by nature. You guys just care and you love and you're soft, you're tender, right? Men, we want respect because of statue, right? Because we are leaders. Every man is a leader. I don't care if you're not doing it right now. You were called to be a leader, and so you can't not be a leader, right? And you can't want to be a leader if you're not showing love to the person that owes you the respect or the level of respect that you deserve. It starts home. It don't start out, in the streets. It starts at home. And so if I knew that, like, I would love you better and you would respect me more. That's like
this is the book that he's referring to. Yeah. It's Love and Respect. The respect the respect he desperately needs. Okay, I did that wrong. The love she most desires. The respect he desperately needs, by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. Yeah, that's a good book. And it really talks about that cycle of just, strife when you really don't get that down, where he feels disrespected. Right. As a husband, the wife is always going to feel undervalued or not loved. So when she feels loved, then she'll speak to him or treat him in ways where he feels respected. But if you don't get that, the cycle of strife and just confusion and you don't understand me and you're that and that the pointing fingers continues. This is a great book. We might need to read this.
I know.
It's been a while.
Time.
We need to reread this.
It's time to read all these again.
So this is another great resource, you guys. Again. Yeah, I'll see it. It's a great book. Go ahead and get that. All right, so
that's number 6.
That was number 6.
7. Your favorite number. What is number 7?
Oh, my favorite number. Number 7. Marriage takes a lot of forgiveness and grace. I didn't know. I think sometimes, well, not sometimes, but I think that society has just painted this picture that it's so much easier to replace your spouse than it is to repair what's broken, right? Right. With that being said, if you don't enter into a relationship or marriage with a mindset that it's going to require forgiveness and grace, like the type of forgiveness and grace that God extends to us, then you're always going to want to jump ship. You're always going to point fingers at the opposite person and say the problem is them, and you're not going to extend them the same grace that you would want extended to you. Man. Like, forgiveness it can't run out. I mean, there are certain situations, if you're in an abusive relationship and things like that, of course, get out of there. God ain't called you to that.
But you still gotta forgive.
But you still have to forgive in order for you to move on.
Yes.
And to heal. You still have to forgive. So when it comes to being married, understand that we're dealing with we're two imperfect people. Men, okay? I don't care. A just man, the Bible says, falls down 7 times, he gets back up. I don't care how perfect y'all think he is. I don't care how perfect you think I am. We're not perfect. He's made mistakes. Wait a minute. No. He's made mistakes. I've made mistakes. But if it were not for forgiveness, we're sitting where we are today.
Absolutely.
Like, people see the glory, but you don't know. I mean, if you read my book, you know some of the story, but there's so much more that people don't see. And it's not, that we want to hide. Love covers a multitude of sins.
You're talking good.
A multitude of sins.
All of them.
But it's forgiveness and grace that keeps us together. Right. That keeps us together. So if I had known that coming into marriage sooner, I probably wouldn't have tried to leave you as many times as I wanted to in my mind, or took offense, so much, and just it just caused a lot of heartache and stuff like that. Whereas for me, and I used to hold on to stuff like a lot. Like it take me a long time to get over something, right? So if I had just implemented forgiveness from the beginning, then I probably would have healed a lot faster than it took.
And an apology is not a substitute for forgiveness. Meaning I can apologize, right? And you say, okay, I accept your apology, but that don't mean you forgave me. So it wasn't in some instances, it wasn't until I asked you for forgiveness for whatever I had done wrong that it triggered you to forgive me. And when we forgive, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to forget.
Yeah. Oh, I used to say, Lord.
The forgiveness breaks that stronghold that the enemy holds against us. This is why sin is so strong in the lives of those of those of us that believe and those that are still on the fence. You know what I mean? Like those that don't know Jesus is their Lord. Because unforgiveness is the root. Like if he can keep you in an unforgiven state, then you'll never feel like you're good enough for God's forgiveness. And so if you don't feel good enough for God's forgiveness, then you're not going to feel good enough for your spouse's forgiveness. So we have to go beyond that and think God-like and say, God, your forgiveness for me has never run out, and it never will according to your word.
Yeah.
Right? And then you tell me your grace is sufficient, meaning it won't run out. It's unlimited. Now, that don't mean I get to take advantage of it. Right? But until you come back, and until I still have breath in my lungs, I have another opportunity and access to your grace and to your forgiveness. And Jesus teaches that. He says 70 times 7, I've forgiven you.
We got to have our own sea of forgetfulness.
Yes.
Like, that's something that I used to go back and forth with the Lord about to the point where I didn't realize it was keeping me from unforgiving. So I would be like, Lord, I forgive, but I ain't forgot. And I was like, I know we're made in your image and likeness, but I'm not you, Jesus. That was me.
He looking at you like
I'm not you. I can't forget. I can forget, but I'm not going to forget. Right. Well, in part of remembering, it was hindering me from fully forgiving. Yeah. So anytime an offense reminded me of an offense that he made towards me, that same emotion, that same hatred, that same anger, it would just rise up, bitterness, resentment. I'm like, whoa, I thought I got over that thing, dude.
Songs. Names.
But y'all better know your triggers.
Colors.
I knew what mine were, okay?
Right.
I knew what my triggers were.
Outfits. I mean, not all of that, okay? Let's just be real. Like, it's some stuff that you can be as happy-go-lucky, right? You and your spouse on y'all way to the beach. Y'all got your coolers full. You got your umbrellas, and all of a sudden...
that song come on. I'm ready to go back home.
My Lord.
I don't want to even look at you.
Don't even want... And then, and so now you looking with the dumb face like...
what did I do?
What happened?
You have to be aware of your triggers, but this is where forgetting is important. Because if I had forgotten about it... yeah. What does the Bible say? The love keeps no record of wrongdoing, right? If I had forgotten about it, or if I had been intentional about forgetting about it, then the offense wouldn't bother me.
Right.
The song playing wouldn't bother me. That name wouldn't keep me from becoming friends with other girls in that name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that petty, for real. Okay? So
I wouldn't even tell him my coworker's name. I'm like, what's his name? I don't know.
But seriously, Shim.
Huh?
But so practice forgetting. Because if Jesus did it, then we can too. It's just a matter of whether or not we really want to. Whether or not we really want to let go. And I did a whole study on unforgiveness and how deep that thing is. It's rooted so deep in the soil of our hearts and souls. It's almost like it's tapped into a water source. Unforgiveness is so deep, right? Imagine living in a parched land, like a desert, or you're a tree in a desert, and you're a tree, but you're still growing. Well, unforgiveness runs so deep that it's tapped into an underground water source that it feeds off of. So that's why I'm saying when you see an offense or when something reminds you of an offense, it means you haven't forgiven if you're still experiencing those same feelings. Yeah. I did a study about that. It's on my YouTube video. It's called How to Forgive. So I'll find the link and drop it in the comments later. But that's for somebody. Somebody needs to talk about that.
Ms. Nola said it causes sickness.
It does cause
absolutely
sickness.
Like stress.
It's so
folks should not be
deep.
stroking out at 30. But a lot of times our health is inflicted because of unforgiveness. And we don't let it go. We hold grudges. We limit ourselves from our full potential, and then we can't even access our purpose. We can't even access our destiny. Don't even think about the will of God. You can't even. You just can't. You can't have it.
Something that I always say is what's going on internally will always find a way to manifest itself externally. And there are so many people who are living with sicknesses and diseases that have nothing to do with their lifestyle. It has nothing to do with the way they eat. I mean, some of it, but most of the time, it's rooted in stuff like this: unforgiveness. Somebody molested your child years ago, and you holding it against that person. They dead and gone, and you still holding offense in your heart, and you wonder why you walking around with high blood pressure and all these. You killing yourself by what's in here, because what's in here is gonna manifest outwardly. So now you're feeding yourself wrong. You know, you're not taking care of your body. You're not taking care of your health. Isn't a priority because of what's in your heart. We just shifted into a whole nother conversation.
But it's okay. We're gonna go to number 8.
So that's why it's important, you guys, to understand in marriage, forgiveness and grace must never run out. Unless he beating on you, trying to kill you, you better run. She beating on you, trying to kill you,
let
you
God
better
handle
run.
that. Let him handle it.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's good.
what number are we on? We're on number 8. Yeah. We're on number 8. Okay, what's number 8? I'm gonna let you have it.
I wish I knew more about money.
Yes.
I wish I knew more about investing and this is just personally. Like, I wish I would have just been exposed to more money saving activities, IRAs and just all of this stuff. Like, I think the most I knew about money was going to work, getting this check.
And it don't grow on trees.
Because that's all I heard growing up.
It do grow on trees.
It's paper.
We trees.
But
y'all saw that meme?
Paper come from trees. I know.
But we trees, right?
Sure, but
anyway.
Yeah. But I wish I knew more about money.
Yeah.
Listen, more marriages than none divorce or end because of money.
Yeah.
Arguments over money. Who's handling the money? Who's not handling it? Who's spending it? Who's saving it? Like,
ain't enough coming in. Too much going out.
Yeah, just as important as these 5 love languages.
Yeah.
You gotta know what type of spender you are.
Yeah.
What type of money manager you are, because if we're both free spenders, my Lord, these pockets got holes in them.
Okay.
Right? So at some point, somebody got to pull that emergency brake and be like, look, bro, you're not going to be able to get them J's today. You're just not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So if I knew more about it, I think I'd be more confident now. Yeah. I mean, and I know we've progressed and we've grown, but we still ain't there yet. But we can do a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As far as credit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't be afraid to ask your boyfriend or your girlfriend, what is your credit score?
What do you?
It don't matter how much cash you have, and I think we thrive on a cash system. If we don't have the cash to buy it, we really don't need it. Yeah. Like, we can wait. We can put the money up and we'll get it, unless it's something that we absolutely need and then we can afford to pay it off in a certain time frame.
Yeah.
But, like, don't jump into these relationships and these marriages and not have discussions about money.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come up.
Yeah. That's like a dreaded conversation people, don't want to have in marriage. But you need to be intentional about sitting down, if it's once a month.
Right.
Because one of y'all ain't going to like talking about it, okay? Especially if you're the planner and someone else isn't, okay?
I like talking about money, but I don't like not having money either.
Exactly.
So what's more important? I'm going to either talk to you about it, or I'm not going to have none. Because you got access to all my accounts. Don't leave me with nothing.
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah, that's a great one, because I definitely wish I knew a lot more about money. And here's something that you said: have conversations. you're coming into a relationship or a marriage with your upbringing, your values, what you were exposed to that probably wasn't all that well. You know, they're coming in with their upbringing, their values, their experiences. And you don't just get married. There was someone who said 50%, or I don't remember what the percentage was, but 50% of being successful in life has something to do with who you marry, right? I was like, all right, what? Right. I wish I'd known that, you know.
I'd be like, Paul, I just stayed single.
Okay. But what I say that to say is have conversations with your potential spouse or, you know, it's great to have those conversations before you say I do, because you could be walking into something that you just don't want. Okay. Like if you want kids and they don't want kids, all right, we need to come to a common ground or, you know, I don't know. But it's great to have those conversations because you don't want no surprises. And I mean, you're going to have surprises, but at least you want to be on a common ground, you know, when it comes to, okay, holidays. Do you like to spend them with your family? Or, you know, how does that work? Yeah. What do you value? What do you not like? What do you love to do? Have those conversations. Because once you say I do, either you going to, you know, not fake it till you make it, but y'all going to work through those issues. Or you going to drift apart. So we didn't have no conversation.
None, y'all. Look, I was in the military, so there was kind of a default financially because I was getting paid the 1st and the 15th every month.
Why are we talking about money?
Huh?
Why are you talking about money? Go. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm getting ready to go. But I'm just saying, like, the reason why we didn't have conversations about money at that time was because we kind of knew our financial situation. Like, it wasn't, you weren't working at the time.
I was working when we got married.
Not initially.
I was working. I was working.
When you first came to Fort Drum, you were not working.
Oh no, when I moved, anyway, I was working before we got married.
Right, and so anyway, the military kind of spoiled us with our finances because I knew as long as I had the uniform on, I wasn't going to not get paid. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times, where I'm going with this is, a lot of times we so caught up in our jobs and the finances are good. They are good, but COVID-19 just happened, and some folk didn't make it. Yeah. Right? And it wasn't just because of COVID-19. Like, there was another virus in the house, and it was unheard or unhad conversations. And if it's uncomfortable, you probably need to have it.
Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah. Don't be afraid to have hard conversations.
Okay, number 9. Don't be afraid to have hard conversations. Yeah. Don't leave that elephant in the room. Yeah. You don't want to be in there.
Don't leave it in there.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. I'm telling you, because the longer you let it linger, the bigger it gets. And you can't chew an elephant. Yeah. Okay? You might nip at it, but...
So, we know how the enemy is, right? He's described... Satan is described to us, or the Bible tells us that he is like a roaring lion. If y'all know anything about lions, if you watch Lion King, the old one or the new one, or if you've watched the National Geographic channel about lions, they don't go after the strong. I'm going to say that again. The lions don't go after the strong. They look for the opportunity to find the weakest, the injured, right? And the young. Those that really can't defend themselves, right? And so that's what Satan does. And when we have these conversations and when that elephant is in the room, it's really not an elephant, it's a lion. Because he's waiting. He's like, are y'all going to talk about it or y'all not going to talk about it? Because if y'all don't talk about it, here's my opportunity. And what our bishop taught us, he's looking for a toehold to get a foothold.
And now you got
a stronghold. So it's very progressive. His attack is calculated. Yeah. It's strategic, but it doesn't change. Yeah. Right? And so we have to be equipped and we have to be ready for those attacks and be like, oh, nope, I see you. I see you over there. Yeah. Yeah, you almost got me. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And so we have these conversations to combat him.
Yeah. Not each other.
Not each other. Yeah. She's not my enemy. Right. I didn't marry my enemy. Right. You know what I say? You keep your enemies close and or keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yeah. Not with her. Yeah.
We're battle buddies.
Ain't no Judas in here.
No, come on, not in this one. Not in these parts.
Yeah, man. No. Don't even give Satan the time, because when you do, and I'm telling you, you're wounded. Yeah. He's gonna get you. And 9 times out of 10, the lion catches. He catches the one that's hurt.
He sure do. Number 10.
Number 10.
I had a good one, I think. I think it's good. Well, I wanted to say we're battle buddies. What? You got one? We gonna have to have 11. What?
Oh, we'll do a 10A, 10B, but let me do the 10A.
Okay, go ahead.
It's kind of comical.
Go ahead.
If I knew marriage would be like this with her, I'd do it all over again.
You're so sweet.
I know. Yes.
We get some cool points.
Let's hurry up and get off of this lie.
Some cool
No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, like if I knew, even with the ups and downs, like if I knew marriage would be this beautiful, this blissful, this fulfilling, right? If I knew I didn't have to go through life alone and I had you, I'd do it all over again. Aww. So that's number 10 because it rhymes. I was like, number 10.
You so sweet.
Don't kiss me on the camera. It's PG-13.
Okay.
All right. So yeah.
Okay.
10B.
10B. Well, you top 10A. That was like a closing statement. I feel. Right. So 10B. Don't compare your marriage to anybody else's.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
Okay.
There's the
comparison is the thief of joy, and when I tell you it's the thief of joy, it's the thief of joy in your marriage. There is no one size all solution for everybody, right? So what works for us may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for us. But please tell me what works for you, because I might be able to take some of that and implement it into my marriage in our own way, and it'll help us. But don't compare yourself, because you'll end up coveting what someone else has. You might covet their promise, but you don't want their process.
Or problems.
Okay.
You want the problems, but don't want the problems.
Don't want the problem. The problem's wrapped up in the process. So this is why I don't look at people to the point where I'm like, I want what they want, because I don't know what they went through to get what they got. You know? I don't know what their process was like. So I admire it, but I water my own grass. Yeah. Right?
We had a really, really big example of that few weeks ago, about a month or so ago, with two actors that everybody loves, Jada and Will.
Okay.
Right? And they've been married for over 25 years, but we only get to see the external stuff. And then when they reveal some stuff that happened internally, whoa.
Like what?
Yeah. Like entanglement has been in the dictionary for a long time. But the minute she said it all of a sudden got new life. And now everybody don't, we done went from side chicks to being entangled now. Like and so when we look at these marriages and we look at other people's marriages, yes, we draw inspiration from what we see and what they reveal to us, but we got to work out our own. Yeah, marriage. Like we have to work out our own things.
Soul, it's like your own soul salvation. Right. You got to work that out. That's between you and the Lord. Marriage is the same way. Yeah. Like, don't compare yourself to someone else's marriage. Don't compare your marriage to someone else's, because, baby,
can't do it.
I mean, it's a thief of joy. Like, seriously, you'll never be content with what you have because you're too busy trying to attain what someone else has. Yeah. And you might be coveting their struggle. Yeah. Just because it looks gold, or it look, what they say, everything that glitters not gold. Yeah. It may be looking good on the outside, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things I tell people: don't covet what I got. I try not to covet what somebody else got. It's good to admire and be inspired, but don't compare yourself to somebody else, because every relationship is different. Yep. I had something else I wanted to say, but if it doesn't come to mind, then I guess we'll go ahead and just wrap it up. So, what do you guys think? Are there for the married couples that are on here? Can y'all throw something in the comments? Let us know what's one thing that we haven't mentioned that you wish you knew before getting married. Or if you're single and you're watching, what's something that you can share with us for someone else that may be watching that would help them prepare for marriage? So y'all, we'll give you a minute. We're going to watch the comments and see what you guys have to say. And while we're doing that, let's try to remember which ones we talked about. Okay. We're going to have to
Angel helped us, so we're going to look at these notes. Angel. We ain't going to front my memories. Listen, y'all. The grace of God.
So number 1 was have a vision for your marriage. I'm going to try to go off the top of my mind. Number 2 was, what was number 2?
Yeah. Don't lose sight of
who you are. Right? Number 3 was
embrace
and respect your differences. Ooh, number 4 was don't try to change me or your spouse, right? Yeah. What was number 5? Now I'm lost. Know your love language.
How cool is that we picked that for number 5?
For number 5, right? Yeah. Know your love language. What was number 6?
Women want love, men want respect. Absolutely.
Here, you guys, and we put, for those of you who are just tuning in, 2 great books. These are 2 great resources for married couples or those preparing for marriage. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And then Love and Respect by Dr. Eggridge. You guys need to get these.
Yes.
Okay, what was number 6? Or number 7?
Number 7, marriage takes a lot of forgiveness and grace.
Yeah, they should never run out. And number 8 was, we wish we know about your money.
Yes.
Find out about your money.
Find out about them Benjamins. Figure out what's going on with them.
And how y'all gonna make them work, because baby.
And number 9 was don't be afraid to have those hard conversations.
Don't be afraid to have hard conversations.
Yep.
Not just with your spouse, but even with your friends.
Yep.
They're necessary.
Absolutely.
Something I talked about with friends. Know your friends' love language as well. They'll appreciate you better because you're loving them in a language that they feel loved in.
And then number 10.
Number 10?
For me.
For you.
If I can do it all over again, knowing what I know.
You trying to get
I'll do it again.
You do it again.
That's what I said.
10A.
Y'all just rewind it when you
10B.
And then 10B is
Don't compare your marriage to everyone else's or someone else's. Because every relationship is different. All right.
That was straight from the heart.
That was straight from the head. From the head.
Yeah.
We didn't plan that. So we hope you guys enjoyed that. Where y'all comments at? Come on. Those of you who've been watching with us from the beginning, shout out.
Miss Jackie says she preparing.
All right, Miss Jackie.
Yes, Lord.
We love you too. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your support as always. We are actually wrapping up. I don't know if you guys have been tuned in, but we have a podcast, Building with the Browns. And I don't know the links. It's on the website. If you guys go to www.builttolastmarriages or builttolastministries.com, it'll direct you to that. You guys go in and take a listen to the podcast. Give us some feedback. If there is an area for you to go in and leave reviews or comments, we highly appreciate those. We are finishing up this season, and I don't know if we're going to start another season.
We're going to try to.
We're going to try. It's going to be a little different. We're going to do as much as we can. We have some travel plans.
We're going to work through all that.
We're going to have to work through this coming up soon.
Technology.
Yeah. But I'm also going to do a podcast for the women next week. That's going to be dropping. So
yes.
Okay, so San Turner says, what if you are new to the dating thing? Okay, so San, here's the thing. I don't know nothing about dating because I've been married most of my adult life.
All of your adult life.
So I try to stay within my level of expertise. But I didn't date. I talked to somebody, but it wasn't a dating. So I don't think you didn't. He probably dated more than I did.
I haven't dated, but it goes back to kind of what we were saying.
Yeah.
In that about asking questions.
Yeah, ask questions.
If it's a question in your mind and this is someone you either involved with or you see yourself with a person like that, find out as much as you can about them without being intrusive. Like sometimes it can be a turnoff to question someone like you're the FBI. Like we don't want FBI agents out there. However, be serious about your questions, but then be ready for a question to come back to you. So whatever you're asking them, be willing to reveal it about yourself as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Don't ask anything intrusive to the point where you're not willing to answer it yourself if they asked you. And
if it's the first date, don't be like, are we having kids or not? And he asking you what you want to eat. Like, order your food and then talk about kids. Like, do you have any nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters? Like, find a way around the question.
That question.
Without really asking the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important, too, when you're dating, you have to date with a purpose. Don't date just for the sake of dating. And I don't even like the term dating, really. Right. I would say courting, because when you're courting, I know I'm real old school. So, like, when you court, that means you're courting someone with intention to marry that person. When you're dating, you're just kind of having fun.
Right.
So, the conversation might be a little different with someone you're dating versus someone you've kind of built a friendship with, and now you're dating or courting this person with intent to marry them.
Yeah.
But that's just me. So, I'm a courting. Marry me. Like, if you gonna date me, you gonna have to date with purpose.
That's it. Date with purpose.
Date with purpose. Because I'm telling you something.
Great question.
If I had to do it over again, or if I even had the opportunity to date,
I ain't doing it.
They probably wouldn't like me.
Wouldn't like me because
I ask questions. I like deep conversations. You can't win me over with that. You know, we just talking about the football, basketball, and no, I like deep conversations. Yeah. You have to stimulate me intellectually in order for me to have a conversation with you. So,
come on with it.
Raise up your standards. And if they can't meet them, they ain't the one.
They ain't the one.
They ain't the one. Be okay. That's where that not losing sight of who you are. Because sometimes we dumb down who we are to accommodate somebody else who's not at your level.
Right.
It's just because you're young, life has nothing to do with age. It's always about stage. So you could be 20, but have a mindset of a 27-year-old.
Right.
And I can't even say that because there's some 27-year-olds who don't even have a mindset of a 27. They act 19, 18. So it's all about maturity. You're at a different stage in your life, so your conversation is going to be different. Right. So you have to date people who are at the same maturity level as you.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a great dating tip. You ain't on my level. Yeah.
And don't pull out this whole list either. Don't do that.
No, you need a whole list.
I'm just saying, you know how some girls.
You shouldn't have to pull out your list.
Number one.
They should be inquiring about your list. Yeah. So I'm the type of person. That's why I say deep conversation is important. Ask me about me. Mm-hmm. When you find someone who's not afraid to ask you questions about you, you ain't gotta pull out your list.
Yep.
They'll pull it out of you. Mm-hmm. That's just me. Any other questions? The spiritual mama coming out of me.
Yeah, sure was. Have your way.
Any other questions? This was good. We really enjoyed this. So we'll give you guys about 2 more minutes. Like I was saying with the podcast, you guys can go there, download the podcast.
It's on Apple. It's on Amazon. It's however you listen to your podcast, iHeartRadio, it's there.
Yeah,
so
listen to them.
Building with the Browns. You type all of that in there, we're going to pop up. You'll see a very nice picture of me. And
me
my wife.
Him.
I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, it's 10 episodes on there right now. And so there's plenty for you guys to catch up. And
and we, like I tell you guys, there's a reason why we don't do things on a weekly basis. Because I'm the type of person, I don't like to overwhelm people with content because I don't like being overwhelmed with content, right? So it always gives you something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. You may have other people that you love to listen to. This is why we don't soak social media or, the web or whatever with content. We have lives. I like to enjoy my husband. I like to enjoy my family. We like to enjoy each other. So at some point, God will say, okay, boom, do this weekly. Mm-hmm. But for now, it's a process, right? I respect process.
Yeah.
I respect process. And we appreciate that, people thirst after, what it is that's inside of you that needs to come out. We understand that. We acknowledge that, there's some wine being poured out and you're being filled. But what are you doing to fill your own cup? Mm-hmm. That's just my mindset. This is why we don't go heavy with soaking and throwing content at you guys. It's because what are you doing to fill your cup? Right. Guess what? Whenever I pour out, I know I have to be filled too. So this is one reason, you guys, that I admonish people to not just be so stuck on consuming content,
right,
but create it. And in order to create it, guess what you got to do? You got to be filled.
That's good. Well, she dropping nuggets. I'm going to go back and listen to this. This is good.
I'm going to go back and listen to it because sometimes I'll be. It's not me.
Okay? It's not. No, it's just flowing. But I thank God for each and every one of you guys. Mm-hmm. And again, go to our website if you want more information. If you want to reach us, our email is on there. I'm not good at saying all that stuff. So
our email is, the email, but you guys go check out the website.
Yeah, just go check it out.
There's also, I wanted to make this there's also a great communication guide that we released. It's been out there for a while. Yeah. It's a free communication guide. You guys know we have a military background, so everything that we do with Built to Last kind of has a military twist to it. Mm-hmm. Go, please sign up for that. It's called the Communicator Connector. Is what I think we called it. Mm-hmm. But go sign up for it and read it and let us know what you guys think. Yeah. But most importantly, apply it. Mm-hmm. Implement it into not just your, marriage, but it is for married couples. But implement it in your life, period. Let us know what you think.
And if you're not married, you know somebody married.
Give it to them.
So just give it to them.
Tell them to sign up. It's a free guide. Yeah. It's a free guide. So
help them out.
That's it, you guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We love you all, and we look forward to being on here again with you. It won't be until next month, the 1st of September. Yeah. So the first week of September, that first Thursday, we'll be on live again on Facebook, unless, who knows, we just have another pop-up, random pop-up, It might happen. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again soon. Good night.